Hey guys, how's it going? I'm back with another video. I'm going to be talking about Breeze Viper today. Mainly going to be focusing on attack. I had some suggestions in the comments that the videos were super long, and I know there's good information in there, but I think by splitting these, videos and focusing on one side per video makes the videos shorter while still having a good amount of valuable content and in-depth analysis. So I think this is one way that everybody can be happy, right? Um, Anyways, so today we're gonna be talking about Viper on attack. Okay. Now, things to consider on this map is Viper on attack. You are usually the only controller. Okay. And there are a lot of angles, right, when you're coming out of these chokes. Okay, so let's just talk about the map a little bit. When you're coming out A, you got to deal with this, you got to deal with this, you got to deal with this. So obviously your wall is super strong when you're coming out A, but keep in mind, if you default your wall A all the time, right, then if you get hard stalled or you have to cancel, going back to the other side of the map and going B can be really hard, right? So with that in mind, you gotta realize that saving your wall and using it when your team is ready to go for an exec is the optimal way to use the wall. Okay, unless you're playing at like a professional level and you guys have ways that you want to play around not having a wall, you have orb lineups to cut certain angles and all that stuff, right? But generally speaking, you want to be with the pack on attack. You don't want to be lurking too much. You want your cipher to be lurking, and you want to be using your mollies or the exec the same way that I was talking about on Icebox. Use your mollies to clear out angles, and don't save them for post plant, and then get your wall down. Make sure you're managing your gas efficiently, right? Like for example, if the enemy Viper orbs and mollies this and B main because your Reyna made a step at the start of the round, which is very common. I'm sure all of you know that. Then and you throw your wall, you don't want to pop your wall until this Viper orb comes down, right? You want to get as much wall time up as you can while your teammates are out of the choke, okay? So don't just insta wall. Wait until the optimal moment. Wait until your teammates are right here, ready to go. Wall up, boom, and then you put it up, right? Make sure that you're avoiding the KO. These are just random things. Make sure you're avoiding the KO knife if you're going B, especially as Viper. It's not a big deal if your Reyna gets hit or your Jet. I mean, really, you want them to avoid it, but you need to make sure that your wall is up. So you need to avoid the KO knife at all costs. So on these exec, it's important that if you're playing against a KO, you stay a little bit further back on B, stay a little bit further back on A, right? Don't get hit by the knife, because that's the one thing that will you'll ruin the round, because there's so many different crossfires that people can have on you. And you'll get two people running out, and then they'll be frustrated because the wall was down, and then nobody's running out the choke and fighting with them, and then you're dealing with two duelists that are angry and hit FF, you know what I mean? So you want to sit back, and you don't want to throw the wall up instantly. You want to make sure that you're waiting for the right moment to use the wall, right? The other thing that's important with Viper, start of round utility, I think it's important to use one of your mollies to establish control of wherever you're defaulting, okay? So let's just take A main, for example, okay? You come here and you stand, there's a little dot right here. You just throw this molly, okay? You throw this molly, what it does is it gives your team good control, the ability to get the orb, right? Good control, but then also disallows the enemy, the defender, from getting this deep line. I talk about these deep lines a lot, right? And I'm talking about ways that you can draw parallels between different parts of different maps, but then have some kind of similarities between them, right? Like this is the same exact thing as Icebox Long B. Icebox looking down B main from yellow. Same thing as Haven looking into A main. Same thing as Lotus jump spotting over the little rubble or root or whatever, right? Looking into A lobby. Same thing. This is a deep line. When people get deep lines on defense, what can they do? They can rotate away, right? This is another one of these defensive power positions where if they have this deep line and you do a mid split, they can just push into A main the same way that they would on split, guys. I mean, maybe some of you haven't seen all my videos, but I talked about this on split as well. This A main on Breeze is very similar to B main on split in the sense that when teams split up mid on you, whether it's on split or on Breeze, you can kind of have a protocol set where you take the fight on this main guy, right? Or you take the space. Now, if they go up and they plant, they have less space for you, and you can make the retake or the post plant really, really hard for them if you stay alive, okay? So, with that in mind, using a molly at the start of the round to establish some kind of control is really, really strong, okay? Don't always save your mollies for post plant, and you don't always need to save 2 mollies for the exec. 1 molly for the exec is plenty, right? Establish some kind of control, because there's ways that you can condition. You could molly this, right? And then you guys could walk up, and then you could just, oh, sorry, my wall's at B. You could just wall, and then you could just pop behind the molly, right? Super simple. But yeah, anyways, so let's talk about A main, and then in mid too. Like using a molly for mid door can be really, really strong. It's really annoying for jets to come take this peek. They stand in the molly. They might have popped their dash for a second, and they tank this molly for a bit, right? And then they wait, and then they have to dash away. Make things very, very difficult for teams, right? It's all about fighting for space and map control, okay? So let's talk about A main. And really all I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you the wall that I would throw. There's really 2 walls that I think are kind of good. An orb, like kind of a lurk orb, and then I'm going to show you some mollies to throw out of A main, okay? So again, here, you can do this from here, or you can do it from the barrier. The barrier is like kind of right here. We just molly it right on this dot. Right, same thing here, doesn't really matter. And then the wall, you run up, and what I do is I would just cut, like, literally these two corners, this one and this one, just cut those right down the middle from here. And this allows you to be a little bit closer as a scaler. A lot of Vipers will pre-wall from here, giving you kind of, technically it's a little bit like safer, right? But you wall here, like I said earlier, you wall here and you commit the wall. Sometimes you'll see instant rotations from people, and they get 3 people on A super early because they know that, like, it's really hard if you're playing single control and you're walling off rip. So, you know, mollying here, getting up close, and being ready to wall when your teammates pop, super strong. So again, kind of just cut this. And again, the reason for this too is, like, one, nobody can kind of hold this angle. It makes it really hard for them to kind of jump through and fight, right? Also makes it easy for you to flash through, but like come like this, so you're not exposed to these guys. You guys can fight this guy. And yeah, it just cuts all the necessary vision. Okay. A lurk orb that I think is strong is here. So you get here. This is where the barrier is. Get here, and then you just aim at this pillar, right? That little top plank. And this orb, you can pop this up. You can do this with the molly, by the way. And you can kind of lurk out and not be spotted by stairs at all. All right. So sometimes it's good to throw this orb for your cipher, right? So you throw the orb, you molly first, right? Because you don't want to get swung. Molly, throw the orb, and then you leave. And you can orb up for your cipher, who can lurk whenever he wants and tries to get over here. Then you can go and you can wall B now, right? Or you can go mid. You can do a, let me call my wall back, sorry. And you can do an A split wall, right? All of these things are pretty strong, right? So this is a good lurk orb that you can do in A main. So let me show you the other wall. This one takes a little bit of time and effort. So what you do is you line up this side of the thing with that yellow, whatever machine, 3D printer, like that. And then what you do is this little circle here, as it meets this tower. So here again, I always crouch to do this. It's a little easier. It doesn't have to be perfect. Right here, you wall. Oh, I whiffed it. Does need to be perfect. So here, and this is more for teams that want to run this, to be honest. So maybe a little bit left. So see this orange part where the orange part meets the circle? So this wall will go up on this railing here, which will block anybody up on stairs, right? It gives them an option to spam, but what it also gives you is the ability to run and wrap the site, right? Get up close to yellow, right? And then you can cycle this wall back up in post plant. Now people have to retake through yellow. You can also get super close here if you want to be really ratty. But, you know, Teams still have to retake with this wall. You get more space on your A exec. It can be a little bit scarier, but you don't really have to worry about like people looking over the wall and shooting over the wall. Okay, so those are the two A main walls standard for me. This lurk orb is good, and like I said, don't be afraid to use a molly. Okay, now let's talk about some ways that you can molly to support your team. Okay, and then I'll show post plant molly. So generally, like, there's a couple things that I think are strong. Sometimes if you're really, really cautious, like if you don't have Sova drone, if your Sova died and you think somebody's close, it's totally fine to clear this with a molly. Make sure you hold because people will tank this and then swing. I also think mollying this is good. But if your teammates are out and scaling, I think mollying back pyramid is really strong. Okay, and the way that you do that is you just peek real quick and you kind of aim around this box here. You just go a couple steps and you throw it. Okay, it's really the big thing. Okay, now let's talk about yellow. So now you got to remember your wall is going to be up here too, right? So here for yellow, what I do is I'll put the wall up. I don't aim in the middle here, just slightly to the left of the middle. So if you were to draw this box here in thirds, so here and here, aim on this third, but like that, right in the middle of it. That'll bounce and that'll full molly yellow, which is really, really good. Especially, guys, what you want to do when you're playing Viper is you want to use your mollies to molly things off, but then also use your mollies when your teammates go to fight through backside, through your own wall, okay? It's really, really hard on this map to win 5v5 post plant because what ends up happening is you don't have enough space and you get shock darted and mollied here, right? And then you got to swing and then there's nobody to trade you and people are hiding behind yellow on stairs playing headshot angles, right? Even playing headshot angles here can be really, really hard. So a lot of teams, what they'll do is they'll wall up and then they'll fight through. They'll flash through this, right? And so if you have mollies here and you have a molly here that can help your teammate when they fight through, or even rail, you can have a really good chance of getting these kills and then taking more space in post plant, getting a person here, right? And then having somebody here playing off of them, getting a person rail, right? And then you kind of just pivot between these two spots. That's how you want to approach taking A on this site. You don't want to just be comfortable with getting the bomb down here or here, or even here. You want to have the intention of getting these kills on this exec, because if you play 5v5 retake, it can be really, really hard, okay? Especially if the other team is saving their util and you're not baiting it out, okay? So let's show a couple more mollies. So wall up here. So really what you can do here is, so this wall, when it meets that thing there and you just aim right around here and you just run through, you can even put it a little lower. Sorry, a little lower. Mollying rail here is really, really strong because what ends up happening is your Sova darts here or here, and then this person runs and then they play rail and then they just focus this, right? Now, if you molly this, they have to swing this way or they have to swing this way, right? So one thing you can do as Viper, I'm sorry, you should be aiming lower than I was aiming. So again, line up this with this kind of, wall up, and just aim kind of low, like at the height of this, and just run through. And then you spam this angle, okay? And what that is going to do is it's going to force this guy to run out of the molly into your shot, and all you need to do is hit him twice at that point, and he's dead. So if you're spamming that, you will get a kill. Or he's going to have to swing out this way into your teammates, right? So, right, what they can do then, if you really want to be coordinated, is as you molly, they come and they spam this, right? As you're spamming that side. So now you're spamming this, and you're spamming this at the same time. It's a good way to get free kills, low risk, super low risk, okay? What else? Molly, oh, so again, wall up here. It's good to be able to molly through your walls, okay? Like over your walls. Have lineups that don't have to, you know, lineups over the top. So I think the molly stairs, you see this white box above this door, you just aim a little bit higher than it. So like right there. And then that will land on the stairs. So what you can do, guys, is you can have like these kind of molly pairings, right? So I would say like at the start of the half when you're going A, you know, molly this for control. And then once you start mollying it and the enemy team sees that you're mollying it for control, you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it as much anymore, right? Because they have to respect the fact that you have been mollying it and that you're probably going to molly it again. The more you show a team that you're doing something, the more they have to respect it. You're just conditioning the space at that point, right? Then you can go up and pop and you do this wall or the lurk orb or whatever, right? And then you get to the spot. And now you have molly pairings that make sense when you go for these hits, right? So let's say, for example, you know, we wanted to do this molly, right? So a molly that pairs good with that could be something like yellow, right? Because what we want to do, let's say we want to drop our wall, or even stairs. We want to drop our wall, or even here, you can do any of them, right? We want to drop our wall and we want to fight. So we want to swing this and we want to fight this guy. That means that we either want to molly stairs or we want to molly this and we want to swing it. Or if we want to keep our wall up, maybe mollying this makes more sense, right? Because then we know that this person is not standing like right here behind the wall. They're probably going to be over here, right? And it just gives us a good chance to spam. Or you can save your molly for post plant if you're going to use this molly, right? Another thing, you can molly yellow and stairs, right? If your teammates want to just run out and fight. So what you can do is you can wall up, right? And go here when your team is ready to go. Okay, they're ready. Molly, molly. And then they run out and they fight and you drop the wall, right? And then they fight. Super simple, super effective, really good. Okay. Okay, let's talk about some post plant mollies here really quick. I'm only going to show 2 of them. If you guys want to go find all these crazy other lineups, there's plenty on TikTok. There's plenty on, just type in Viper Breeze lineups, right? So here, these are the most useful ones, the easiest to throw. So here on this rock, so the way that I remember is, this is the highest leaf. It's just 1 down from that. So it's there. That's going to land right here. Okay, so that gets the bomb on default. And then I'm going to show you a way to do this one from safety here. And then you just aim at the left side of the light. Okay. You don't need to peek. I see so many people like going like this, right? You don't need to worry about that. You can do it from far back. So here, okay? Simple. These are really the only post-plant mollies that you need for A site, unless you're doing some crazy wrap. Like you do a molly from here, and then you run over to mid and do another molly. I'm not gonna worry about that. Like I said, if you guys want to find that, I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere. Okay, those are the big mollies for post on A. And yeah, that's pretty much it for A, guys. Okay, actually, let me show you this Hall's orb real quick. So here, line up here. Now that Halls is back, this is important. What you do is, so above this little white notch or whatever, right here, I just aim here and I run. And the second this and this are about to meet, I will let go. Okay, so just take some practice here. So in the middle here, like right before they're about to meet, I just throw, and that goes deep like this. And then with that, your team can run up and split halls, right? You can take the site. If you're one of the halls guys, you can grab your orb back. You can throw this, which is really strong, and then close the door. Now you have a one-way and a smoke up top. Really, really strong, okay? Your orb goes down, molly, and just hold up top like this. Wait for your orb to come back up, right? And then you can reposition, okay? That is it on A. Let me think. Yeah, that's it on A. Okay. Let's talk about mid now, and then we'll go over to B. This video is not going to be any shorter, by the way. I'm so bad at this. Okay, so let me just get the barrier back up. Let me show you the 2 most important mid orbs to throw, or 3. Sorry. So super, super easy. I'm going to kind of speed through this. So here at the barrier, and aim at the top of the flagpole. This is mid door. So usually what I would do, again, use a molly here is fine. I would do these 2 together. So all I'm doing is aiming where these flower pots meet. So molly, orb. I throw the orb first, and then I molly, and then I would de-peek and hide from the op. Okay. It's possible that he could swing you. Okay. But this again is gonna give you a decent amount of mid control. Okay. So there's that. Let me restart again because I need the barrier. Oh. Or do I need the barrier for this one? let's see. I might need the barrier. It might be the corner here. So here. So what I do is I aim right where this Bodhi sign meets this sign right here. I'll go here. And then I crouch. There's a little tiny. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see if this works. So don't even crouch this time. Just aim right there. Actually, aim right underneath the sign. It's right here. There's like a little brown speck. Just aim there. Okay. Now you're going to have like a little crack here, but you can also move it a little left. Do the first one. Sorry. So do it with the barrier. So let me get it back. We're here. Yeah, so aim at the Bodhi, crouch, go. Okay. And really what this does is it smokes this. People can't see this. They can't really see you here. They can kind of. But really it just smokes the cross from like nest can't see you cross to A can't see you walk up mid, and then mid if you want to go up elbow, they can't see you as well, right? So that's a really good orb. And then the last one is the window orb, the nest orb. So here, what I do is I find what the corner of the shadow, and then I find these dots. So not this dot, but this dot here. This is a jump throw, okay? What you want to do basically is right here, this brick. Now you move it down. So I find this brick and I move down. What I'm looking for is this little triangle here, okay? So this triangle here, in between my right click and my left click above my smoke, right here on this ping, I put my I put that point right in the middle, and then I jump throw, okay? This is gonna full smoke. This is gonna full smoke nest, okay? So with this, you can do a lot of things. You can do a B split, right? You can go fast A, like you can go across this way, whatever. It's just a good thing to kind of like if teams are opping nest, right? But yeah, that's pretty much it for mid, guys. I would generally just kind of like stick to using different variations of this smoke and then mollying the door for control. Make sure you're breaking the enemy Sova dart if you're playing Viper, for your Jet or your Reyna or whoever wants to fight in front of you. And then the last thing I'll say is you can come here, and if you ever wanted to, let's say you do this orb, right? So you do that orb, and you want to. Teams are walking down mid on you, and they want to fight you, right? So you can throw that orb, and then you can come here on this corner. You can basically aim at this like to the right of that orange, and you molly like this, and you drop the orb. You can molly this cubby, and you can fight that. Okay, that's pretty much it for mid, guys. And then the only other thing I'll say is getting here and being able to wall for an A split is really solid. Make sure when you're doing this wall that you're cutting on top of here, okay? It's really not like people can understand that people can come here and stand and look over it, but it's really important that you don't just like cut it super like along this line, because then it can be extra annoying, right? You want a little bit of vision block here, okay? Let's go over to B. For B, really there's only one standard wall. It's this. Okay, and again, remember when you guys are walling, make sure you're out of the KO knife range. Make sure you get this wall down when your teammates are getting ready to come out of the choke, versus just throwing it at the start of the round. Okay, now let's talk about. I'm going to show you guys one thing that I like that I don't see a lot of people doing, is standing here and then you put your crosshair here. I jump throw this orb, and this orb can be really helpful if you need to cancel, like if you walled over at A, but then you cancel and come back to B, because it blocks a lot of the vision on the right hand side. It allows you to run up like this and kind of like avoid this fight. So you can come and take this fight, then go here, systematically go right to left, kind of like clearing these angles. But also you can pop this and kind of like come up here, and sometimes you could break the cipher trip, right? Throwing an orb like this puts a lot of pressure on the enemy team. Just because it cuts these angles and it puts a lot of pressure on this guy. You can pop this up, you can come up, sometimes break the cam, you know, do whatever, right? Also just helps your teammates when they scale out, if they don't have to worry about looking right if you have no Viper wall, right? It also makes it so this back sight person can't swing and help the team. Same thing as half wall, right? Half wall can't swing. The only place where they can really die, give me a second to get this gas back up, is like right here, right? But ideally, you have somebody coming out here to clear. So this orb can be really strong. And let's talk about Viper mollies on B, ones that I think are solid. Okay, so another thing too, guys, don't be afraid to do something like this. Like, get creative with your orbs sometimes, you know? Throw that. Throw that. Tell your team to scale and fight the right side, and you come and you molly this, right? So they come and they fight right, and you come up like this, and you wrap the site like this, right? Yeah, molly's still up, can't run through. Then you can drop this and you can fight, right? Okay, mollies when you're scaling, all right? So it's really important to know how to molly this behind this box. It's important to know how to molly like here. And then other than that, you kind of just rip your mollies however you want, or you save them for post plant, use them for stall, okay? So let's start here. Really easy way to do this is just aim at the top of this leaf, and then like when you run up, you get close to the pillar here, you let it rip, okay? And that's going to get behind this box, which is super helpful for your teammates that are scaling either up here or they're coming this way, right? Because they don't have to worry about this now, right? They just swing this with confidence, okay? And then for backside, how was I doing backside? I think I just aim at this brick here and I just run. Yeah. Same thing. Just aim at the brick. Just kind of run and get close. Okay. That's going to molly there. Things you can do here. You can take a couple pop shots. A lot of times people will be like hiding behind this head glitch. But yeah, that's pretty much it for mollies on B, guys. Just make sure like you use your mollies to clear the site. Make sure you're one of the scalers. Make sure you're communicating when your wall is up, when your wall is coming down. I like to always use this as a point of reference. I'll say 3 to 5 seconds. Yo, wall down, wall down, wall down. I'll say wall down when the gas gets right here, so my teammates have a second to get back to safety. It's not good enough to just say wall down right here. Okay. Again, I think what I'm gonna do for Viper ults, guys, I know you guys want those. I'm gonna make just a video of all the sick Viper ults on every map together in one. So like I'll just go through, it'll be like 30 minutes long or something, and I'll just drop Viper ults on every single map. Or I'll do map specific ones. But to be completely honest with you, I don't have all of them ready. So it might be something that I focus on next week or something like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it on this map, guys. Remember, big things. Don't just insta wall at the start of the round, because teams will rotate, especially if you're playing single controller, because teams will over rotate to that side. Makes the map really hard for your team. Make sure that you're managing your gas efficiently. So again, the best example that I have is if this Viper orb's early because you guys made a step B main, when they throw a molly, don't throw your wall yet. Just wait until your teammates are ready to go and then pop it up and go. Use your mollies before you run into the site to help your team, and make sure you get in. Getting here as Viper can be really strong, right? And make sure, obviously, if you guys are, if you're tucked here, they can see you. So you got to make sure like you're not in this spot all the time, but you're in here to maybe like make a play through the wall or something. But yeah, that's it pretty much as far as the wall goes. And then don't be afraid to use your mollies at the start of the round to establish some kind of control and conditioning. It can be really, really strong. And make sure you use your mollies on A specifically to help your teammates when they fight through the wall and take more space. Sometimes the space that your wall guarantees is not enough, right? Especially on A. We want to try to kill this guy yellow. We want to try to kill this guy stairs. We want to try to kill this guy here or rail. Getting these kills can make the rounds really, really easy for us, especially if teams aren't disciplined and they're not playing together on A. It's very, very hard, especially if teams are running like Reyna, Jet, Sova. It's really hard for them to have optimal stall on both sites. So if you, and it's also even rarer to see teams that play super disciplined and play back on halls and hold on to the yellow control. A lot of times there's going to be a guy here, going to be a guy here, there's going to be a guy here, whatever, right? We want to kill these people that are out of position, right? Because if we molly these spots here, here, and here, there's nowhere that they can really hide, right? They're going to be in the open, and that's what we want. We want to put them in as many disadvantageous fights as possible. Viper mollies are a really, really good way to do that as your wall is coming down. Yeah, you're gonna find yourself winning way more games if you're using your mollies not for post plant, using the mollies to clear the site and take space. Again, thank you so much for all the love and the support. I think we're over 300 subs already, which is crazy to me. Love you guys, and yeah, man, just keep watching and keep firing off suggestions. I'm glad that I'm finally getting them. The first couple of videos I wasn't getting too much, but now it seems like people are being more blunt about what they want. Again, sorry for not making this video shorter. It ended up being 30 minutes anyways, but I'll probably put out a Viper defensive guide. That one should be shorter. It's a little bit more simple. Oh, post plant molly on B. Sorry. I just go here and this thing to the right. Sorry. Okay, I'll just land here. Sorry about that. Okay. But yeah, that's gonna be it, guys, for the video. Thanks again for all the love and support. If you guys have any questions or want to see more on this map, yeah, or more Viper stuff in general, just let me know and I'll definitely push out the content. Thanks again, guys. Have a great one. Bye.